Another session of Majesty's music lesson. Hope you're feeling airy and everything is evolving in a positive manner. Well, here we are again, another Sunday in Guyana, and continuing from the previous program, I dealt with the history of Guyana and the missing history that a lot of people do not know because of the propaganda that goes on. And that's very unfortunate that many Guyanese do not know the true history about persons who made contributions to Guyana, serious contributions. And I was specifically referring to the period of William Forbes Sampson Burnham and the industries which he organized, or his government organized. And I read where they were sold in a private, or were about to be sold, because this was 1989, and they were about to be sold, right? And recently I had heard one speaker, and unfortunately it's from the government, saying that they failed. So I had to clarify that they did not fail. They were sold. And he felt that they failed because he wasn't seeing them around. But they were sold out. And I even have the next paper now. That one did not have GT&T, the telephone company, but this one have the telephone company up for sale. So, and like I said, there are many more companies that were sold out. And today, that's why I said the private sector failed, because they did not keep up these companies. We had Guycan, which is another company, Guyana Canyon Limited, where we canned orange juice, pineapple chunks that I ate myself, opened the tin and ate. People today never knew that we were canning foodstuffs. All these things were disbanded because they were told, and the government of that time accepted what the Europeans' misleading guidance told them to do, that governments do not run businesses. Government only tax the people and organize the society. The private sector must run all the businesses. Unfortunately, we were not supposed to be following their dictates. And that's the mistake that we made, and it was made by members of the PNC part of this happening, by the leader that took over from Burnham, that was Mr. Hyde. And the younger generation has been misled. And anytime I correct history, I call on people to challenge me, to prove to you that what I'm saying is the facts and not what you were being told or what you heard. And you can see how many people can be misled, that even the present finance minister, being the person who made the statement, was the one who was misled. But that is how dangerous propaganda, which is what I was talking about, quoting from Marcus Garvey, that African people suffer the most from propaganda. Propaganda to disturb our hopes and aspirations. And he said that propaganda has done more to do that, destroy people's aspirations and hopes, than even open warfare. So that's to tell you how serious propaganda is. And that could even bring me to the picture of the Christ. That is the most serious propaganda ever spread in the earth. Fortunately, in Guyana today, we have goodly brothers who are promoting programs which clearly deal with that subject, telling you this is not, that this picture does not belong in any church. This is not Jesus. And I had shown my mom one time, because she belonged to one of the churches, and she had a picture over the three different doorways. And I took down the three pictures and I put them together in front of her. And I said, now tell me which one is Jesus. Because it was three different European faces. Like looking at three African with different faces. And I said, a man only has one face all the days of his life, unless he takes plastic surgery or some accident, fire or something, chemicals destroy the normal look of his face. But a man only has one face throughout his whole life. So Jesus, the Christ, is of that, the one of that time, or whoever came of that time. So they also have Moses with different faces, and all these people, King David and Solomon, they make these movies and everybody have a different face. They all have different faces, or they put it in magazines and, you know, but they make sure it's a European. So propaganda, the African nation is still suffering from propaganda, massive propaganda, about government even, about how to treat the people, about how the people should live. Because status is being promoted in the world. African people never dealt with status, one man over another. Only the king that we dealt with, he was the representative of the people. But you know, the Europeans dealt with, they have dukes and what you call dukedoms and all other kinds of names of different status that they have. You know, lords, dukes, you know, that is separate of the king. You have, you know, all, I don't have it to my tongue right now, but they have all those different names, and they do deal with status until come down to the peasants. We Africans have to stop dealing with that, else there will never be any unity. That is propaganda. All are equal, and we are the persons who have to push it among ourselves. It doesn't matter if other nations don't take it up, but we have to. And we went through all this degradation, I think, for that exact purpose. Because a chain is as strong as its weakest link. So, with so many weak links in the chain get burst up into several parts. So, this is why the African nation was burst up into all those different parts, because it stopped being the strong chain that it used to be. And people were able to invade Africa because we stopped living to the consciousness of life. Maybe Sometimes when people live too good, they become casual and carefree, as we see even today. So we have to finish with status, and in our constitution in Guyana, it says status shall not be something in Guyana. I will quote the part of the constitution, and then I'll start to speak with two guests that I have on the program tonight, right? They are both not Guyanese, right? So you will be interested to hear what they have to say, you know. And I can start from here within the Constitution, or where the Constitution is saying that it is a joint duty of the state. It is the duty of the state to enhance the cohesiveness of society by eliminating discriminatory distinctions between classes, between town and country, and between mental and physical labor. It even speaks of mental and physical labor. So this European concept of people who are the intellectuals being above the people who do physical work, not labor, work. Physical work, physical creativity, professional physical work. Professional means worthy of being paid. A mason who lays tiles is not a laborer. He has to do a professional job and lay those tiles almost perfect, else it will not look good, and you will not want to pay him. So the respect for physical work has to change in Guyana. That came from Europeans. It's the same program of slavery that we're working to. And that is totally and absolutely ridiculous, especially for Africans to come promoting status. It's the Europeans who gave lawyers the status and doctors the status above people. Doctors cannot save themselves. Lawyers cannot save themselves either when they commit crimes. Just like the regular citizen who commits crimes. Doctors cannot save themselves when they get ill. The rest of doctors cannot save them. So, many things that we follow is nonsense, real nonsense. Just like the private sector engine of growth. The engine of growth is the people. It's the workforce. That's the engine of growth. Private sector does not build the roads. It's the people's taxes. And that's the social order. The collective taxes of the people organizes the society, not the money out of the pockets of the private sector. They build themselves. So that whole concept of European is just like the concept of the picture of Jesus. It is false. So I want to get to my guests and have enough time, seeing it's two of them, to discuss what they know or what's happening in their country, you know, that will give us an understanding, a further understanding of the world that we're living in, right? Because it's very, very important to know what is going on in the other parts of the African world. You know, we were part of the battle against apartheid. And it was very, very important to us. So, Dominic, I can bring in my guests at this time. Thank you. Well, I have here, closest to me, on my right, this is a youngster from Ethiopia, of all places, who I just met at a forum in Ethiopia. He was taken there to give the congregation some insights, answer some questions about Ethiopia. So I asked him if he would come on my program sometime, and he said, yeah, he could have come tonight. So here he is. This is Abi, A-B-I-Y. Abi, and he's just 22 years old. So this is a young man, you know, but he's here studying at one of the local universities, right? Yeah, I think it's the Texila University, right? And my brethren here is from Suriname, right? Right across the water, right? Brother One Stone, yeah, an ancient from Suriname. One I knew well because he comes to many of our celebrations of His Imperial Majesty in this country. And right now, there is the House of Naibingi has its program for the coronation happening right now in Wizrock, right, which is in Linden, at the tabernacle that's there at Wizrock, and it's for 7 lights, right? So myself and him were up there for the first, second, and the third light, and we came down last night, you know, so that I could do this program. And then we're going up to the seal up, which is tomorrow night, Tuesday night, going into Wednesday morning. So those who didn't know, the seal up is Tuesday night. So yes. So I want to talk about a little, I'm going to be moving from one to the other, right? To know a little bit about Suriname. We can start with the closest, right across the border, you know. First of all, let me ask how the situation with Herb over there.
Greetings in I and I Father's name. Kadamawi I Selassie I, the Almighty. Hail the I,
Selassie I, King Rastafari.
Yeah, Suriname is a land like Guyana. It's Dutch Guyana, they say it's Dutch Guyana.
Yeah, it's Dutch Guyana.
Yeah, the same what happened here with black people, you know, happened there in Suriname.
Yeah, true.
And the same thing with the Rastafarian, you know. There, you know, here they got Ibernacle, but there we ain't got the Ibernacle.
Yeah.
But still we carry the Ibernacle in I and I, you know. But the Rastafari in Suriname must over more solidarity with their own liberty, Rastafari.
Yeah.
But Suriname is a beautiful country, just like Guyana. Got waterfalls, got nice flora and fauna,
Yes.
You know, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This Suriname is a blessed land, just like Guyana.
Yes.
Rastafari.
All right, let us deal with the government. I know it's Mr. Boutasser, right?
Yeah.
Who is the president now, right?
Rastafari.
Yeah. How is the government operate towards Rastafari?
Yeah, the government operates very good to Rastafari.
Very good.
Yeah, it's up to Rastafari to know themselves. Doors
Right.
are open, but the Rastafari must know how to go in and stay
Right.
in. You know, but that make no difference. The first president was all right too. You know, he ain't
Yeah.
got problems with Rasta.
Who was the president before?
That was Phoenician. Yeah, yeah.
Phoenician.
Phoenician.
Phoenician. Yeah.
It's Rasta. Rasta have the problem with themselves, you know.
Yeah.
They have to work that
Yeah.
out, you know.
Because you
Rasta.
tell me they have doors open.
A lot of doors
Yeah.
open, you know, for the Rastafarian, but they must know how to go in and stay
Yeah.
in, you know.
Well, some more doors need to open here, right?
Yeah.
Some more doors need to open here. In Burnham time, we did have doors open, you know.
Rastafari.
You were given land. But like you say, we Africans coming out of colonialism, we move very slow, right?
For sure, for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not just Rasta. It's not because they're Rasta they're moving slow.
Black people.
It's because they're black people,
Yeah.
right?
Rastafari.
Because all around in the society you will see a whole heap of black people who they came out of
Rastafari.
moving that same way,
Yeah.
very slow,
Yeah.
right?
Some of them mentally they're still in slavery, and that's the problem.
Yeah, very much so.
Rastafari.
That's why I speak about propaganda, because that is what slavery was all about. We were propagandized for a couple hundred of years,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Around the world it's 400.
Rastafari.
In Guyana here, I think it was about 200 and something, you know.
Rastafari.
Yeah, since they came down here. So, it's not an easy job, because to be a nation be propagandized for so long. And it's like almost in part of the DNA, you know.
Rastafari. Yes,
Right.
Doctrine.
So it's something you need to snap out of, you know? Yeah. And that's why I do this program.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Because I born like the golden arrowhead, you know?
Rastafari.
Yeah. It's set in direction and it's always ready to go, you know? Always ready to go. But the same thing up here. That's why you see I have it now like this. Also, I said I have to show Guyanese how we've been flying it
Rastafari.
since Burnham died. We've been flying it backwards, this way, right? Instead of the right way, which is this way, pointing away from us. Right now, we're flying it backward to ourselves, right? Because we went in backward movements,
Rastafari.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So you said that the president before even had things open.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Rastafari,
It
yeah.
just need to
The
Rastafari
Rastafari,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you ain't got unity, you're not strong.
If you
And
don't
that's
have
the
unity,
problem.
you're
you
not
got a lot
strong.
of locks walking around the street, you know.
Right.
But they don't know themselves. They don't know
Right.
them liberty.
Right.
And that's why you can come up for the things we all Rastafari need.
Right.
Because you need some acres to do some aquaculture, you know.
Yeah.
It's not
You have to
alone.
have
yeah,
you have to have soldiers
Rastafari.
to go forward to do anything.
Rastafari.
Any kind of a job. It's really soldiers, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
They call you laborers and all kind of thing. What I know is soldiers.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Soldiers. You gotta get so every work called for soldiers.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
the ministries in Suriname, you know, they give training to all those religious and spiritual organizations.
Yeah.
Even Rasta got the call
Right.
to the in those
Yeah.
training, you know, the IOVs, what I tell you.
Yeah.
But it's up to the Rasta. It's a few listen to and go, but
Right.
the mean,
Yeah. They've been trained like that. Our black society was trained like that to stay back, you know. When you're black, stay back.
Rastafari, yeah.
When you're brown, stick around, you know.
Rastafari.
Yeah. And it's in our heads. And even our leaders, that's why I asked you about the leaders. It's good to find that the leaders in Suriname are more progressive. Because many of the leaders act that way also and keep us down.
Rastafari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so slow, you know. And this is why I'm saying that about Guyana, because it's not like in Burnham time.
Rastafari.
Right? We start flying the golden arrowhead backwards. Right? We even have Victoria statue, which used to be outside the law courts in colonial times. That was taken down by Burnham and put in the back of the gardens. It was lying there. I saw it. You know, in a part of the gardens that no one really goes. You know, because they just have bush there. You know? Yeah, just have grass, you know? I saw it there. But now I went away and I came back, right? It's back there, the law courts.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm telling you, we're flying it backwards. We're going back on the colonialism.
Yeah.
It's totally unacceptable.
Yeah. But it's not, I and I mustn't leave all those work for the government. Because who's the government? It's I and I, it's the government.
Right.
Yeah, I always
This is why I do this program.
Rastafari.
Because our people do need some inspiration.
Rastafari.
Right? This is what Marcus Garvey did.
Rastafari.
This is what Forbes Burnham did.
Yes.
This is what Elijah Muhammad did. This is what Malcolm X did. You know, this is what Martin Luther King did. Inspire the people. Stokely Carmichael, etc. Kwame Nkrumah, you know.
Yes,
you know. So this is the kind of leadership that we need, inspirational leadership. Because our people have to make a massive move. We have to make a massive move. You know, we're 50 years out of colonialism. Yeah, we just celebrated the Jubilee. And the Jubilee comes from Leviticus in the Bible, where the Almighty Himself, the Creator, made the Jubilee. He told it to Moses. You know? Yeah, when the children of Israel came out of Egypt into the new lands. And He told them, this land I have given you, 7 years, 6 years you will plant it. And in the 7th year, you will rest the land. And that year will be a Sabbath year to the land. And the next 6 years, you will plant the land again and rest it the 7th year. And He said you will do that 7 times. So, in the end, you will end up with 7 Sabbath years for the 7 times that you're going to rest the land. And He says 7 sevens is 49, right? Because this thing happened in a 7-year period. And 7 times you're going to do it. And so He said, in the 50th year, you will declare Jubilee. And you will sound the trumpet. And you will declare liberty in the land. You're going to free everyone. You know, if you have people as slaves or whatever, or you're going to free them. Send everyone back to their families. And you went so far to say, if one of a family members sold the land of the family, and there's a member of the family who wants the land back, you who had bought the land have to sell them back. That is the Jubilee. That these are laws of the Jubilee that the Father set. Because it's for liberty. It's to return liberty to the earth. When people hear Jubilee and it's a big celebration, they think it's man made it. No, it's the Almighty made it. Right. And I know there's another part, not in Leviticus, where it refers to the same thing, and where the Almighty is saying why this must be so. And he said, because all the land is mine. Life is much more serious than the nonsense we get told and taught, you know. And people doing things that they don't know where it come from. You know? The Father made Jubilee, made celebration, made all these things. That they got harvest and, you know, Sabbath and all these things that people talk about. You know? Yeah, it's the Father instructing people all along. Now people don't take instructions, they take it from the European. Yeah, false instructions. You know? So, that's how serious things are, you know? But, let me come to my brother here now, you know? I was asking you earlier about Rastafari in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, maybe there are at least a couple of Rastas. And what you told me?
Okay, seriously, Rastafarians are too much back home.
Are too many.
Too many. Yeah.
Are many.
Yeah.
Ethiopians become Rasta.
Yeah. Because you know about Shashamane, right?
Yeah, I know about Shashamane.
So when Rastafarians from Jamaica, when they came to Shashamane, they start marrying Ethiopians, and they will give birth to Ethiopians who will be Rastas.
Yeah.
So in Shashamane, Malkaodea, even Awasa, we have plenty of Rastafarians, Ethiopian Rastas.
Ethiopian Rastas, yeah.
I think they are more than Guyanese Rastas, trust me.
They are more than Guyanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, we are 80 million, right?
Right,
So
right. 18 million.
80.
80 million in
Yeah.
Ethiopia.
That's
8 million.
That's Ethiopian population, right?
Population
So
right
from
now.
that,
Yeah. So
now
they got
we have many Rastas.
many Rastas. Yeah. And you were telling me you want to know if we have 10,000.
Honestly, right? How
I said I
many-
don't know,
Yeah,
you know?
because-
Because you feel you all have at least 10,000.
If you have 10,000, it's too much. But you don't have 10,000 here, right?
Right.
Because
right.
imagine
I can tell.
having one city of Rastas is in an African context, it's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't take Shashamane and Malkaod as Rastas.
Yeah.
The population of Shashamane is more than 3 million.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we have many Rastas,
Yeah.
trust me. Especially the teenagers. Now they are turning into
Now
Rastas.
teenagers are turning.
The teenagers and university students.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
easy to find Rastas.
I'm happy to hear that the culture continues to spread, because African people have to come together under one culture, which is the natural culture from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because this is how Rasta see it. Rasta didn't see themselves as some different people from Mars. No, they see themselves through nature, the natural nature of humanity, you know. And in the script itself, it says that man was made to be a vegetarian, you know. Just like how they have vegetarian animals,
Yeah.
you know. So if animals can do it, even the elephant, you know. So it is natural, you know, for the body, you know, to be healthier, right. So I'm glad to hear that Rasta is spreading in Africa.
Yeah.
I still have to reach there,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. And how far are you in your course?
I finished 3 years.
You finished 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got one more year? Or
18
some-
months.
Huh?
18 months.
Yeah, oh yeah, because you're studying physician.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, that's more than 4. All right. So, where it concerned the herb, you said there is a law,
Oh, it's
the marijuana.
okay. Marijuana is like for Rastas, like for Jamaicans and for Ethiopian it's different. Like if you are an Ethiopian and if you get caught smoking,
Yeah,
you will go to jail. But
Yeah.
if you are a Jamaican, there is a different law for them because they
Yeah.
are treated differently. For them,
Yeah.
they can smoke. It's legal.
it's legal.
Yeah,
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 I see. That's good.
yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the, for
yeah.
them, it's even to plant. It's legal for
It's
them.
legal to
Yeah,
plant. Yeah.
Yeah,
We Africans were free from the beginning.
yeah,
Our leaders come on the colonial laws. They got it done with that. It's
Yeah.
nonsense.
yeah,
The father said he made the herbs for us.
yeah,
That's why Rasta knows. It's not a reasoning.
yeah.
You know, just like all the other herbs made for us, that was made for us also. So it's stupid.
We have
It's the stupidest law as far as I'm concerned.
yeah. Back home, we have a herb called chat. It's addictive. Like it's a plant, but it's addictive. That's illegal.
What you call it?
Chat.
Chat.
Yeah, chat. It's like most of the time it will be It's common in Yemen and some
In Yemen.
yeah,
Yeah.
some Arabic countries. That is illegal back home.
What does it do?
It's like addictive, like caffeine, right?
Yeah.
Coffee, like it has
Tobacco.
Yeah, tobacco. It's like
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
it grows naturally.
Yeah. But people have to be intelligent.
Yeah, yeah,
That is why the solution to that kind of problem is education. Because look, they got people mad or lose their mental faculties. They bathing in the gutter, I mean a dirty trench, you know, washing their clothes in there or bathing. It happens around. You see people who lose their focus, you know,
That's a bad.
or they don't bathe for, you know. So man can damage themselves, right?
yeah,
People need education. That's the solution. Because even regular people, they drink. Well, you know, alcohol is the main thing in the West.
yeah,
And people do all kinds of things. Drive and kill people. Beat up their wife. Kill their wife. Kill other people in an argument. Because both of them were drinking. I mean, it's in the papers regularly. I could get just in this last one paper where it happened twice. Where this man chop up his, the friend he was drinking with, his neighbor. Right. You know, because they get into some argument over some stupidness, you know. And then this the one with some people on a farm. Some other man make them go on this man's farm and building some little stuff. When the man and the son come, they chop up the man, and the son barely run away. Or the son get chopped up and the man barely run away. You know, but he get killed. But he said they were drinking, the people there were drinking, you know. So that's the reality. It needs education, right? Because people can abuse anything, you can't stop them. A man can go hang himself.
yeah.
Or there's all kind of other things in society, rat poison, all kind of things people can take. But you ain't locking them up. The rat poison and stuff is right there. So why you stopping me with marijuana? Marijuana doesn't do anything like that, you
Yeah.
know? But it's education for people not to take certain things because there are other trees with other things that look like fruit. My mom said, no, don't eat that. There's one called cannonball, got a lot of, they look like a little watermelon like, you know, or a big something else, you know, it could pass for a fruit, you know. They tell you don't eat that, because it's gonna kill you, you know. So they don't say, man, the father shouldn't make water because people drown. You know? So you gotta stop this nonsense, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta educate people and teach them that they gotta take care of themselves, you know? And I'm taking care of myself, but I smoking marijuana. But you throw me in a jail, which is degraded, you know, urine around. So where you helping me? You know. So I'm glad to hear that at least Rastas can smoke and stuff. And we need to get, it's about freedom
Here
right
is
now.
the difference between Ethiopians and Rastas, right? Rastas, they will plant it, right? They will plant it in their garden. So for them, it's like using their own plant. So they are allowed to use it. It's legal for them. But Ethiopians, they have to buy from the Rastas, right? Because they won't plant it. And the problem is most of the Ethiopian who use weed are underage, like 16, 15. That's why it's like it's not illegal, but it's like if you get caught, you'll be in trouble. That's like.
But they have to check
Yeah, check.
to see what damage you're doing to society.
Yeah. How old are you? Like, how old you are, and when
Right.
it's going.
But they have to check what damage you're doing to society. If it's not, it's not. And that's why I tell them here, 50 years of independence, right? And at least 40 years, Guyana is dealing with marijuana heavily. Where's the damage? Where is it in the society? No, it's not there. You know? As a matter of fact, African consciousness is more now than ever. And if it wasn't for Rasta, when Burnham died, African conscious would have practically died. But Rastafari keeping African conscious full all the time, because Africans have to be free. You know, and that is practically the symbol of freedom right now. Where African is free to choose what he wants to eat and drink and smoke. You know? Because right now you're told you can't smoke marijuana, you can drink rum. That's it, because they made that legal.
Yeah.
You know? And the only thing they tell you that because they make money off of it.
Yeah.
But they could make money off of hemp too. But the Europeans don't want to promote hemp. And hemp is big in America. But they're the ones who caused the law to be down here, given 3 years. It was there before, but it's America first bringing that law in 1937.
Wow.
Yeah.
But still in that time they were doing business with the marijuana, with the hemp and things.
The
like
hemp
that.
was the main
Yeah,
source
that's
of clothing
yeah, rope
and
to,
canvas.
yeah,
That's where the name
yeah,
come from.
yeah.
Cannabis. Canvas.
Yes.
It made canvas.
Rastafari.
Right. And so many things. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, but you see, the colonists are still here and still in Suriname because it's the system. You
Yeah.
know, because the white man got it for free in their land. In many states in America, it's free, it's legal. You know, even in Europe, you know, you can go to a coffee shop and you can buy and smoke. But the same
Right.
system put you in jail here for one roll. The overs what I tell you.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
the system, you know. So you call, still colonialism live.
Yeah. You remember colonialism was inhuman, you know.
That's about
It was barbaric, you know.
Yeah.
And our leaders today
Yeah.
have been trained to be that way.
Yeah, Rastafari.
Evil against their own
Yeah,
people.
Yeah, they keep it alive.
Inhuman against their own
Rastafari,
people.
Yeah.
How could you be locking up people in those kind of jails?
Tell I, you know. He smoke. Well, what you do? You doing some wrong thing that you smoke a split? You do nothing wrong.
You creating unhealthy conditions,
Rastafari.
right?
Yeah.
In jail, TB, tuberculosis can spread easily.
Rastafari.
So it shows you that people are following Europeans without thinking.
Rastafari.
And it doesn't say much of them. Not just much for them, much of them. And I'm here to tell them that, because I know better.
Yeah.
You know. And I went to the same school like like all of the main people in this country, which is the top school, right? So, this consciousness is real because I can explain it. And when you do certain things, you're inhuman. You know, you cannot have a jail like that where you're throwing people in. And you're not rehabilitating people. You're taking them down more. Well, it seems we come to the end of the time, you know. I'm glad I had this little time to speak. We did deal with a very serious topic, which is the marijuana situation in Ethiopia and in Suriname. And I was given this tonight by a brethren, which is established news from yesterday, Saturday, November the 4th. And it says, CARICOM to hold marijuana consultations here. You know? So, something serious got to come out of it in relation to our people, right? Yeah. So, because we just getting left behind all the time. Well, thanks to Safe TV, thanks to Brother Dominique, and I will see you in the next 2 weeks where we continue this program of dealing with the violation of the Constitution in Guyana. Because religion is free in the Constitution, right? And people have rights, including individual rights, right? Unless their individual rights is infringing on other people's rights. And the government or no one has been able to show where Rasta's rights is infringing on other people's rights. Because that's the Constitution. So the governments are violating the Constitution when it comes to people's rights. And people's rights were really given by the Almighty. And man have rights over their own nation, over their own person, you know. And laws have to be made by their own nation. Unfortunately, that law was not made by us.
Can come in, you know. I think the leaders of the world care about the Almighty, His law.
They more care about money and wealth.
Yeah, they have their own law, you know.
Well, we have to do something about that for the African nation's sake, because the next generation has to get a better deal. And I'm seeing that 2020 will bring a great change in the world and in the black nation. Right? I'm glad to have this time with you. Well, I'm glad you were wrong still. We got to come and do it again. Right?
Yes, I.
Respect. Right. Thanks to Safe TV, we can sit down back. Thanks to Safe TV, thanks to Brother Dominique. Right. I'll see you in the next 2 weeks.
Yes, I love it, I love it.
How many years will you get for marijuana here? For smoking marijuana?